Japanese people who lives in Japan, almost all Japanese. So we are just one citizens, one kind of
person.
broad.
Race?
Yeah.
Or ethnicity.
Yeah. Then so language.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Language. So it's very rare country, I think. Then population is high. The economy is not bad. So we are no move people. So we made the field, then stay forever.
Yeah.
But the other countries people, so they are moving every time. Then some other countries are very hot countries. The others are so cold countries.
Yeah.
So they are different mind. Yeah. Then so I think we should know.
It's good or
about,
bad?
It's good. It's good. Knowledge. It's a knowledge.
It's
Yeah. It's a education also. Yeah. Global. If we can do more globalization.
Yeah.
So get more information.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. But just information.
No. So of course we can move.
Be able to go.
Yeah, we can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good things.
Yeah. Do you think it has any negative things?
Negative things. So if negative things. 何があるかな。If met not good people, they bring bad things.
Yeah. I think too, maybe I've always thought globalization was like the best thing ever. Because I went to school for business, right? And growing up in America, I always wanted to leave. Growing up in California, I always wanted to leave and see other places. And my older sister, she always kind of made comments whenever I would talk about globalization. She would say things, and this is my older sister. She's very smart, very like she's the one who's maybe in just to survive and be alive. Maybe her common sense is not good.
What's she do?
But academically, she's brilliant because she can memorize. She has, we call this photographic memory.
Really?
So like she can read a book and she will have the whole thing memorized.
Good.
You can ask any question she remembers. So she can get perfect scores on tests.
Really?
Like she's so smart this way. But then she makes really bad life decisions.
Why?
It's just the situation, right? Her special gift is she has this memory. I'm the opposite. I can't remember. I can't remember. But I can survive if you throw me to the street.
Good. It's good. Good gift for you.
Yeah.
More than your elder sister.
Yes, but she would make comments about globalization in a negative way, and I never understood why. And then coming to Japan, I think, in America, there's so many stereotypes and so many strong opinions and attitudes. A lot of people say, like, you have to accept other cultures, you have to accept different opinions, you have to accept everybody who's different. We accept everything. Like, you have to be okay with all of it. And if you don't, you're a horrible person. You're a really bad person. And so this is the idea, right? So in America, maybe there is like a stereotype that Japanese people, because the country is mostly, it's homogeneous, right? So like you were saying before, the word homogeneous.
Homogeneous.
Yeah, like it's mostly Japanese ethnicity, right? Your genes, like homo means same, and then genius, genes, right? So the same genes.
Yeah, homogeneous.
And so there's a stereotype that Japanese people don't want other genes. They don't want foreigners, right? They don't like foreigners. And so it's kind of negative stereotype. But moving to Japan and just living in Japanese culture, maybe I understand people who are similar, who have the same values, the same culture. They can agree to the rules and they can follow them. And then society is cleaner, safer, and just overall better, more affordable. There's less poor people in Japan. There's less poverty in Japan. All of these issues exist because that's the world, but so much less in Japan. Right? And it's because everybody, they're like-minded. Not everybody, but most people.
So we are village people.
But it's it works.
Yeah, we trust the neighbors.
Yeah, right. But so I have a little bit of a fear that the more foreigners who come to Japan, right, and it's kind of a hard, it's a hard opinion for me to have because I am an immigrant, right? I'm a foreigner who moved here, but I also am somebody who accepts Japanese culture and am willing to participate. I'm worried that because of the aging population and people aren't having babies, Japan wants, right? They want more foreigners to come, foreigners to come. But then I'm worried about Japanese culture.
In the future, maybe Japanese culture and Japanese language, it's a very rare.
Not even rare, but I'm worried that Japan's becoming. You can already see on the news it's happening. It's more dangerous. There's more crime from young people. More like juvenile. I think
not become dangerous country.
No. I don't think so. But it's slowly things are getting worse. And so I think I'm worried it's foreigners who come to Japan for a better life. But then they're not willing to accept Japanese culture, right? And I don't want to say a specific nationality. I have just read multiple articles about it. So I will say, for example, people who come from China, they're creating like pockets in Tokyo. At least these articles I read, there's areas of the city where all of the Japanese people are leaving because there's a ton of Chinese immigrants who are moving in, and this isn't Japanese people hate Chinese people, so they're leaving. That's not the case. The case is the Chinese immigrants who are moving in aren't willing to learn Japanese. They're not willing to follow Japanese societal rules, right? They litter, they put their trash everywhere. They are really loud and noisy. They're just very disruptive to the community, where this kind of thing, maybe in America, it's unnoticed. It's normal. Everybody is different and everybody does whatever they want. But when you come to Japan, it's kind of, there's this like standard that they're not willing to meet. So these neighborhoods are like really losing value and becoming like kind of not good areas to be in. So I kind of worry about that. And then also
globalization.
The first world countries, Japan, America, Australia, Europe.
Great 7.
just all of the wealthy, well-developed countries,
Mm.
they're taking advantage of Mexico, China, any poor country where they can have factories to build stuff for cheap, right? Maybe they don't have good conditions, so then the people are having to work in bad, like, working conditions. So I don't know. There are some negatives to globalization that I didn't
Really?
pay attention to before, that now I can see.
Well, in the future, maybe we will become the one country or one Earth. So yeah, it's a yeah.
Do you think it's possible
It's possible
with
with
China and North Korea and Russia? Do you think it's possible?
yeah, but the country that getting bigger, right? That trace the histories. So country want to become big. So of course, nearly future,
Who do you think will win?
national countries.
Who do you think will take over the world?
Some aliens.
Aliens?
Aliens coming.
I hope so. Maybe they're better than the other options.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a video. Video for us to watch. If it's too fast, let me know, because I think it should be okay.
Unless you live in North Korea, you're probably reliant on international trade in one way or another. Possibly the food you ate today is farmed or grown overseas. The pen you used to write the shopping list to buy the food you ate was probably manufactured overseas. Your mobile phone or laptop was almost certainly made overseas. The specific parts to that laptop were probably made in different countries. Your car will have had its parts made all over the world before being assembled. We live in a world reliant on overseas trade. But what would happen if countries decided to stop trading with each other? Would society grind to a halt? Would we all become self-sufficient within our own nations? That's what we'll find out today. On this episode of the Infographic Show, what if world trade stops? What would happen? International or world trade is the exchange of goods, capital, and services across international borders and territories. International trading accounts for a significant slice of a country's gross national product. International trade has been with us throughout history and will likely stay with us for years to come. The Silk Road, the Amber Road, the Atlantic slave trade, the British East India Company, and the scramble for Africa are all episodes in the rich history of world trade. The economic, social, and political importance of world trade has been on the rise in recent years. A world economy has formed with each trading partner contributing towards both the import and export of goods and services worldwide. So let's imagine for a moment that countries stopped trading with one another. Imagine if a country such as Iceland were to stop trading. It would have an excess of fish and not much in the way of motor vehicles or air conditioning units. Iceland would have to revert to its pre-international trade way of life. Would there be a loss of living standards? Yes, but the people of Iceland got along okay before international trade. But they would notice a huge difference in living standards if trade were to stop flowing to them. Certain countries excel in the manufacturing, the growing, the production, and the creation of certain products. Certain nations have come to be known for delivering certain services. The world of advertising and television has created a global societal phenomenon whereby we all expect to live our lives with the opportunity to each hold and own the same items. How realistic this ambition is remains to be seen, but the expectations are there. Expectations are everywhere. A family in Bhutan expects to be able to watch a Hollywood film. A businessman in Thailand expects to drive a German motor car. A family in Brazil expects to decorate their homes with furniture made in Sweden. A Malaysian restaurant serves lobster from Maine, escargot from Paris, and prawns from Phuket. The desirability of products made in other countries is driven not only by the quality of the product, but also by market forces driven by advertising. Across the world, it is widely accepted that the best timepieces are made in Switzerland, while Asia produces the world standard in rice. We like to have products shipped in from various places. But let's imagine that overnight, our financial system collapses and all countries stop trading. It is hard to imagine such an event taking place, but putting it another way, perhaps money is suddenly worthless, so there is no point in trading. Small external countries would be...
Is it too fast?
Too fast and too much information.
So he's saying maybe everything that we talked about before. And the reason why it seems fast is because he isn't pausing in between his sentences. So it's just one continue. Continuous.
Left to fend for themselves. Larger countries with both supplies and the means to produce products would be okay. But citizens would struggle to survive in those smaller, unsustainable countries and would be subject to mass migration, heading to territories where there is promise of food and goods. The self-contained countries would be countries with both supplies and the means to produce.
Right. So he says larger countries with both supplies and the means to produce products would be okay. So in the situation, if all of trading just stopped overnight, America would be A-okay. 100%. The United States would be fine. Like anything that is produced in the world can be produced in the United States, but for cost, they choose to produce it in other places because that just the mass of like the size of the country, and there's so many different, I want to say ecosystems, but I don't think that's correct. Different like agricultural landscapes that are in America, so in the United States, so it would be fine. Even Japan would be fine, right? Japan can grow its own veggies, it can grow its own rice, it will have plenty of fish. There's domestic cows, right?
But not enough.
Not enough. It wouldn't be variety, right? So like they were talking about in, I think, Iceland, maybe, or Finland? Iceland. They would have to eat fish for every meal. Not maybe every meal, but they only have so many goats, right? And sheep. Like they don't have the big open fields like we have in the United States. So they can't have a bunch of cows and pigs and stuff, right? So their meat would be a lot less and it would be a lot more fish, like in Japan, right? But I think Japanese people are used to eating seafood for a lot of the meals, right? Maybe just the otakus would have a problem with McDonald's being gone, right? Something like this. But the point is that the big countries, the developed countries that can produce their own food would be totally fine. It would be the small countries that can't produce things themselves and they need to import and export to like survive on a basic needs. They would not be okay, right? And that's something too about the United States. If each state was its own country, many countries that wouldn't exist. Like if they were just like, okay, the United States is breaking up, we're all just different countries, a lot of them would just disappear or be consumed by other states, other countries, because they can't produce anything. There are like dead spots where it's just desert. There's just nothing, right? So if you live in a country that can take care of itself, maybe this doesn't sound like such a bad thing, but if you live in a dependent country, it's not good.
Produced products would be okay, but citizens would struggle to survive in those smaller, unsustainable countries and would be subject to mass migration, heading to territories where there is promise of food and goods. The self-contained countries would be in a much better position. Nations that farm their own foods and manufacture their own products would not see much change apart from the mass of immigrants attempting to enter their country. This may result in conflict and resistance, but history tells us that the mass migration is not such a tragic event. If we look at the mass migration following the Second World War, or the immigration from the Middle East after the more recent conflicts, we learn that modern society can deal with such large movements of populations. The flow of people from country to country would be immense in the advent of an international trade blackout. No longer would cities be desirable places to live. People would move out into agricultural zones and settle in towns and villages. Farming would become a part of daily life, and citizens would be encouraged to learn skills such as carpentry and craftwork. No longer would people work for international business. Instead, they would work for the benefit of their fellow townspeople. Life would be very much like it must have been for the pioneers who first settled in the United States of America. The driving force and desirability for international products would weaken. Chinese businessmen probably wouldn't travel to Africa to purchase animal skins. American high flyers would not rush to Russia in search of caviar. Economist Raymond Vernon in the 1960s attempted to explain global trade patterns by using the product life cycle theory. When a new product is introduced to a country, a demand grows, and that demand triggers interest in other nations, which gives rise to exports. Many of the things we think we need to get along in life, we don't actually need.
So he gives more facts, but then in the end of the video, we ask for your opinion. What do you think would happen if tomorrow morning you woke up and Japan was no longer able to receive anything
Yeah, we have to move.
from other countries?
Yeah.
Where would you move?
Where?
Yeah, let's imagine everything stays the same except no products. No products in, no products out. But let's say this trade, right, is going to cause people to move to different places, right? So you think you would have to move? Why would you have to move? Where would you go?
To US.
Really?
Why not?
You don't think Japan would be okay without other people?
Yeah, maybe Japan is okay.
Japan was resistant probably for the longest.
Yeah, but in case if I have to move, I can move anywhere I want. So I choose US. Yeah. Or Canada.
Or Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
North America.
Yeah, North America is
Yeah.
better than the others.
What do you think would happen to the Japanese economy?
Japanese economy.
Do you think it would be better or worse?
No, I think getting worse.
You think so?
Yeah, in 25 years, so less than billion people. Billion? 1億って。
Maybe, yeah.
Billion people, then more worse.
It'd be worse.
We couldn't fight the other countries.
Like war-wise?
No war. So anything. So economy. So
but you wouldn't have to worry about other countries. You don't have to worry about you within Japan.
In Japan. So yeah, of course. Just now, so we survive with domestic. Now, but in the future, it's very difficult. Yeah. We have to export, import. Yeah.
It's difficult.
That globalization.
Globalization.
Yeah. Nationalism. Yeah. This could be. Yeah. Have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be bad at first because
it's a prepare to everything.
Yeah, because it would cost a lot of money to set everything up to be able to take care of yourself. Even in the States, like I think the States would be fine, but it still would be. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe I have an unpopular opinion for the United States. I think things would get more expensive for the United States. Certain unnecessary products, just like luxury goods. But I do think opening up factories and like making everything within the country would provide more jobs. And it would get more people getting money and then more people spending money. So I don't know. I think it would help the United States. But that's just...
Yeah, of course, surviving.
That's just the States. I don't know that way. I have this unpopular opinion. But yeah, good job. Thanks for talking to me about globalization.
Yeah.
It's
So you're just come from your native country to here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
technically, I'm a product.
So is that the best your things and worst your things
In the United States?
no in here
For Japan.
from non-Japanese people to survive here, living here.
What's the best things and what are the worst things? The best thing, the number one best thing is that I can afford to live here. Right? So being a foreigner, even though it's not like a super ton, the average pay for like foreigners teaching English in Japan, it's more than like the part-time jobs, right? Working on
it's for visa, right?
Right. It's more, it's higher pay. And if I compared the money that I have here to the money in America, I'd be poor. Like I would be so poor. But here, I live so comfortably. Right? Obviously, I'm poor this month because I have to pay my school bill. But I'm not poor because I have savings, right? In the States, I never had savings.
Oh, really?
I never made enough money to not spend money. So I never had savings. So even coming to Japan, the amount of savings that I have, it's so small. I already have more yen now than I have from my US dollar savings.
I see.
And I've made that in 3 years, like in the 2.5 years that I've been here, right? So it's comfortable and affordable to live here. Maybe I can't pay for luxury things, but I can survive and have savings. Whereas in the States, it was like all of my money went to rent, all of my money went to my bills. Just to be alive, just to be a person, is all of your money.
I see.
So
yeah. So if you are rich, so we should live in US.
But for somebody who, like I said, my work experience before, like it's my personality. It's my heart. Like I'm not like I'm not a specialist. Yes, I'm going to school now, so I'm learning about education. And
when you get the master degree,
actually become better at the thing that I'm doing. But I can't just get an office job and just go to work Monday through Friday. Like I can't do that. I actually can't do that. I was talking to Aichan about it this weekend when she went with me to my doctor's appointment, and I was explaining to her, like, I've worked in companies before, and like there was the last company that I worked for, I thought it was like really promising. Like, okay, cool, like I'm gonna be able to go in there and like move up and like get into like, I don't know, I wanted to, because I had just finished school and I went to school for marketing, so I wanted to work in the marketing department. And I knew I had to start somewhere and work up.
Do you like marketing?
I don't really like it. It just, I went to school for it.
Why did you choose marketing?
Because I like it more than business. Because I think the marketing part of business is fun. Right? Like when people think of marketing, they think of like it encompasses everything that they think of like a commercial on TV or an ad on Instagram, but it could be so much more than that. Like, for example, there was this marketing campaign that I really loved that was Harley Davidson, and they would put on events where they would bring a huge trailer of all the brand new motorcycles, and they let you do test runs. Like, so you could just walk up to this event and just go ride on a bike. You have to fill out like a form and a flyer and all this stuff. But yeah, so me and like all of my friends who rode motorcycles together, we got to go try the brand new
nice
like motorcycles. And it was so cool, and it was like I was such like a Harley girl. I was like, yeah, like Harley Davidson is the best. Like, you know, it's totally this kind of marketing works. It's like you loyal customers, quality customers is more important than quantity. Right? People who will always come back, people who will stay. It's more important than one-time buyers, right? You want the people who are always going to come back. That's how us company survives, right? And then obviously, like, you want more people because it's profits, but you also want to have this steady increase of quality customers, right? Also growing with the number of customers that you're getting. And so marketing stuff like that, where it's like interactive events, or I don't know. I thought that would be cool because then I wouldn't have to be in an office. If I could get some kind of marketing job like that. I was crazy. I thought I could just like create my own job. But yeah. I think maybe the worst thing for foreigners living in Japan, honestly, is maybe just cultural difference.
Food?
No, not at all. I think the food is great, and anybody who's like, they can get over it. Anything is available here. You can have anything. But mainly one, like, I think, like the language barrier. So if you don't speak, obviously that's a big problem. If you speak Japanese, like if you learn and you can speak Japanese, it's still really hard because of the culture difference and the specific culture difference is in relationships among people. Like, and I'm sure it exists within communities in Japan, but overall, Japanese people are like this. Always.
Yeah. It's our culture.
Yes, right? And so I think that is the hardest thing for Western people, because in our countries, like, we're so used to having the support of other people, even if it's just like a stranger, right? But we also are very vulnerable with our friends and very vulnerable with our family. And we have really strong connections. So moving to Japan and being away from your people and then trying to make connections here with Japanese people, and you never get farther than this, right? I think it's the most difficult. It does get lonely. I can understand there's lots of people that get lonely. But at the same time, saying that, I do think it's easy to make Japanese friends.
Nice. So
they're just not as close as the friends you might make in the West.
I sometimes do get homesick. Homesick?
Yeah.
For what? For meet your friend, meet your family, or?
Yeah, for the people, not the place. I do miss the beach, though.
I see.
I miss swimming. But it's for the people. It's not. Yeah, I miss my family and my friends. Like when you're just feeling a certain way and you just want to talk to somebody and be honest, you know, you can't talk to people like that in Japan because they feel it's like a burden. It's like, don't tell me that. Like, now I feel uncomfortable. But I don't care. I tell everything. I tell her everything. She's my therapist.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good job. Do you have any questions about English?
No. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you.